turn it over to you.
Okay, 7:01 and we're starting.
I would like to welcome everyone to this online debate between our candidates for our new ALOA Presidential Office. I'd like to introduce Christopher Messia as our moderator for this afternoon, and I will turn it over to him.
Thank you, Nick. Yes. And welcome everyone to the ALOA Presidential Debate. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Christopher Messia, and I'll be moderating, asking the questions of the candidates. Our candidates are in alphabetical order. I'd like to give a little bit of background of them and just let you know where we'll be going. So I've got Mr. Tom Ripp first. He is the North Central, currently serving position North Central Director with ALOA. He's been on the board several times. 99 to 2001, served from 2011 to 2013, and 23 to 2025, current position. I've been in the industry 47 plus years, formerly with the University of Wisconsin, currently managing ADC Locksmith, and resides in Waunakee, Wisconsin. Did I say that right, Tom?
Correct.
All right, very good. So welcome, Mr. Tom Ripp. Our next candidate we have here is Mr. John Trumpy. I've been in the industry 40 plus years, 32 of which has been with the University of Pennsylvania. He's currently still employed there and represents the institutional locksmiths and serving on the board for ALOA as well. Home, Pennsauken, New Jersey, or better, close suburb of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Welcome, John Trumpy.
Thank you, Chris.
And finally, Mr. Wayne Winton, out from Colorado, Newcastle, Colorado, owner of Tri-County Locksmith Service, been in the industry since 2012. And many know Mr. Wayne Winton from his multiple YouTube videos and helpful hints and tips in the trade that we see. Certainly one of the premier fellows in social media when it comes to locksmithing. So welcome, Mr. Wayne Winton.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So just our format that we're going to follow is that I've got a list of questions. None of the candidates have been briefed or know what questions are going to be asked of them. The questions will be asked in a random format. The first candidate to be given the question will be given 2 minutes on a timer to respond to that question. If any of the other candidates wish to add to that, that candidate or candidates will each have 30 seconds to make a response to that. And at the conclusion of this, each candidate will have time, 3 minutes, to summarize any ideas or thoughts, anything that may not have been brought up earlier in the discussion. We have drawn lots to see who will go first and in the order for final presentation, so that has already been determined and agreed upon by the candidates. Now, without any further ado, let us start then. Go on. I'll begin with our first question. Each of our candidates are currently serving on the board for ALOA Security Professional Association Incorporated. The question that is going to be directed to Mr. Tom Ripp is, what concerns are currently not being addressed by the board?
I believe some areas that need to be addressed more so is the finances and what we can do as far as benefits for our members. The dues keep going up, I believe 3% a year, but it's there's a lot of benefits that that haven't gone up at all. The North Central region back in 2017 had the ALOA convention, and the soonest we could have it in Rosemont, Illinois. The North Central region would be 2027. And we have a lot of mom and pop or small businesses that they can't be away from the business several days to go to Florida or to Las Vegas. That for the value of their membership, they really need to have that convention in Rosemont so that they can at least attend the trade show.
All right. Let me give you a second part to that question, Tom. How would you treat these concerns as president?
Well, we need to take a closer look at years back, every third year we were in Rosemont. And just like Las Vegas, that was every third year as well. That one's fairly popular, so we've had it more often in the more recent years, but we really need to take a closer look at the locations of the conventions, because that's a big benefit for membership. If it's close enough for them to be able to drive there to spend 1 or 2 days instead of taking a week off of the business to travel by air to a further away place.
Thank you. Mr. Trump or Mr. Winton, any comment on?
I don't know if this is from my point of view, but just so that the membership understands that we book conventions 2 to 3 years out. And during the pandemic years and the recovery years, because of the financial situation of ALOA, we were in a cycle of Las Vegas, which is our #1 performing show, and Reno, which not Reno, Orlando, which is our second most. And currently, we are getting prices from other areas. We are not going back to Orlando. We are looking at Rosemont as one. Actually, Rosemont, I think, is currently in the lead, but I would need to check.
That is your 30 seconds are up. Thank you. Wayne Winton, any comment on this?
Absolutely. I agree that the trade show definitely needs to be moved around. We need to accommodate all of our members. This is an association for the membership. I would disagree that the location of the trade show would be the #1 concern for the members right now, but I definitely would say that we can accommodate trying to move things around. We could pull that into planning, and we can definitely make sure that the membership is heard. And we could take some polls and we could take some voting. I have a
And your time. Thank you. All right. Thank you, each of you. All right. Our next question we have. It's stated by ALOA in its mission statement that one of the purposes is to create a public demand for professional locksmith services. Both ALOA.org and findalocksmith.com have strong domain names, but are not structured to be easily found in a general online search. The question posing to Mr. Trumpy is, what's your position on this?
Well, my position is really easy, and members will see it really soon. We are rolling out a new public domain, a new public website. It's literally being worked on currently, as the other board members know. We took some finances, shifted them because the website was outdated, and the new one will have that. It's also, we've added to it an entire component for consumers, because our website has to do so much. It has to serve as a portal for members. It has to recruit members. It also has to serve the public. So we have, I think, 17 different pages devoted to public information, how to locate a locksmith, stuff like that. Now, the other part is all SEO. And in reality, ALOA has great SEO. If you Google Locksmith Association, we're always on the top page. Find a Locksmith. If you type in Find a Locksmith, we get great ones. But if you just type in Locksmith, that is a problem. but we also don't have the income to necessarily push that up. So there's always some things. The traffic to find a locksmith is huge. So people are going there. We're in negotiations with Google right now, talking to them about vetting through our membership. So that should help in some of that capacity. But of course, Google's not going to necessarily use Find a Locksmith. It's going to use theirs, but we are working with them for vetting purposes. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Wayne, Tom, any comment? Tom, anything from you?
Yeah, we should seek bids for SEO.
Okay. All right. Wayne, any rebuttal or comment?
Absolutely. What is currently being done is not working as good as it should, which is exactly what the question posed. And so I definitely agree that we would need to seek out some other ventures and figure out how we can use the funds that we have to boost what we have, along with giving members tools that they can use to boost their own SEO.
Can I just
Very good.
can I just say that we do pay for SEO currently through web lease?
Right. Thank you. Related to this, the same comment about online searches. To Wayne Winton, what would you do to address this issue, further expand upon those ideas?
Absolutely. I would put together a program. I've actually already put together a program on working with Google SEO experts on how to both set up your Google My Business listing properly the first time, and so that it does not get suspended or removed, along with how to get it back and how to retrieve it after the fact. This is one of the biggest fights and one of the biggest issues in the entire industry right now is legitimate locksmiths are having their websites removed and their Google My Business listings suspended, and other companies who are not in good business practice are having their websites and Google My Business listings allowed to stand. And that is the biggest problem in the industry. And that's one of the biggest things that we need to tackle. And we need to jump on this and help with this particular problem. The association is the leader in the world. Why are we not taking a bigger stance? And why are we not having a bigger hand in how this is dealt with if this is the number one problem? I see an opportunity for leadership from someone who understands how these things work, like myself, to be able to help lead from the front and start making these things happen, along with working with the websites like Find a Locksmith and some of the other resources that we have, while not increasing the amount that we actually spend on that. And it can be done. We just have to do it properly, and we have to figure out the tools to be able to accomplish that goal. That is my mission.
Thank you, Mr. Winton. Mr. Trump, any comment on that?
Just expanding on what I said before. I mean, you know, we are currently in negotiations. I am talking to their general counsel's office, and I'm talking to their, I forget the guy's title, but he's essentially the vice president of Google Maps. The problem is ALOA can't just say, do this. They're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. We're in talks with them on how they can use ALOA for their vetting services.
Thank you. Mr. Ripp, any rebuttal comment?
Well, consultants can and other business tools like enterprise resource planning and distributor coordination, accounting, the, work with our members. So there's a few things that we can do.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, the third question I have here, or third statement, follow up with a question. Related to what we brought up earlier, the association has been criticized as being behind the times. The website being difficult to navigate, education lacking regular online classes, and the proficiency registration program, the PRP, not being available online. So, two-part question. This is for John Trumpy. Do you agree with this statement? And if so, what would you do to improve these?
Well, I only agree with it in part because the PRP is available online. Dawn's here; she runs that part. She's quiet in the bottom, but the PRP is online. So, yes, I agree 100% that the website is outdated. But ALOA is a business. We needed the funds in order to update it. And at this point, it's only the front end. Now, we also had the SAFTA site crash. So we got an emergency site up. We moved them to web lease, the same one we're using for our current contract. And so that will be the next component. And then we're going to move into the membership side. Now, the membership side, you got to remember, is not necessarily a website that is run by the association management software. So that's a little different. We are talking about skinning it and moving some links around and stuff like that. But essentially, when you're on the membership side, when you sign in, you're actually on the association management software. So yes, we need to do that. We definitely need to expand online education. Every time we do one, it does fill up. So one of the problems there we run into is whenever you do that, you can't put it out on YouTube. You got to make it a member exclusive. We have all of the seminars that the investigative division is doing. We have to have a platform in order to make sure it's being screened properly and it's only the members. We don't want to put this out to everyone, but that comes with a cost. So we talked about sistering with a manufacturer or something like that, but ALOA needs to remain brand neutral. So
Our
yes,
time,
we need
our
to be.
time is, we need to move on. Thank you. All right. Leave it up to Wayne Winton. Any comment, rebuttal, concerns?
Absolutely, absolutely. Number one, I was frankly, when I first joined the board, that was one of my number one concerns the entire time was the website. The website should have been redone 10 years ago. I mean, that's really how it really should have happened, at least 5 years ago. And to get to the point where I was actually posting things online and getting screenshots and polls from other people about how terrible the website is, in order to make this happen to where they were finally getting the kick in the butt needed to actually rebuild the website, I don't think it should have taken this long. I think it should have been done a whole lot sooner.
Thank you. Mr. Rip.
Yeah, we need to do move forward quicker and even if it's a little out of pocket to solve these problems. And we already have submitted proposals to enhance the law. Just more to do.
Right. Good. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, our next question. There have been some concerns about with locksmiths involved in the automotive sector about the National Automotive Service Task Force, better known as NASTAF, its heavy-handedness and lack of sharing in issues with rights to repair. Some seeing the two organizations as rivals rather than allies. Now, Mr. Rip, I'm going to leave this to you. What is your take on this position, and what would you propose to remedy any discourse and resolve any differences?
Well, I'd probably have to look into it some more. I'm not as familiar with the automotive. I know David Lowell, that was part of ALOA years back, was more involved with NAPTA at that when he was part of ALOA. But I'm not that familiar with NAPTA currently. But I would be looking into that.
Thank you. Mr. Trumpy, any comment there?
Well, I can tell you what. Now I'm in the same boat as Mr. Rip. I'm an institutional locksmith. I have not done cars since VATS was new. So what we did when that came up, we did the only thing we could do in ALOA, and that is hand it over to our board of the automotive division. And that kind of became the official stance. They published an article in Keynotes, but we were watching it. I don't necessarily understand it as well as I should. But it is a problem. I know it's something, and we're not going to stop.
We need to move
paying
on.
attention.
There's your 30 seconds. So, Wayne Winton, same question. Concerns, rebuttal, anything?
Yes, I do believe that. Once again, I'm not an automotive locksmith either, but I have seen. I'm deep entrenched in the forums, and it seems as though there is an opinion that there is a monopoly on NASTIF with NASTIF right now, and them having information and having to jump through a certain amount of hoops to be able to retain that information or have access to that information. So I believe we need to reach out to NASTIF, and we need to actually work with them board to board to come up with some solutions for that, which I'm completely open to do.
Thank you. All right. Gentlemen, next statement and questions here. Over the last decade, the association has seen a steady decline in membership. The loss of membership is greater than that normally seen through attrition. Question going to Wayne Winton is, to what do you attribute this? And then what do you see as the greatest obstacle to growing the membership?
It's a fantastic question. I'm actually really glad that I got this question. The number one problem is our association is based off of, and almost every presidential candidate has based their running on education and networking. These are the main topics that the association is supposed to offer. Well, newsflash, it's 2025. All of that stuff is now available online. YouTube University, regardless of what people's opinions on that are, it is there and it is available. And the networking is available through groups now as well. People have built their own. And what does the association have to offer now? That's exactly where I want to step in, and I would like to approach each one of the board members, and I would like to approach each one of the ACE instructors and highly encourage every single one of them put together an on-demand online training program and offer a training program to the membership so that people can learn year-round, and they don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars every single year to travel to a trade show. Now, there's no substitute for hands-on training. I will grant that because I know people are saying that. However, there is a ton that can be learned through online training, and I want to promote online training. I already have an online training system set up where it can be vetted, where a video can be seen and watched for a certain amount of time and not downloaded, and can be distributed very, very easily. So all of this talk of high cost is absolutely false. I already have this system put together and I'm ready to deploy it immediately.
Thank you. Tom Rip, any comments?
Not at this time.
Okay. Mr. Trumpy.
I just want to correct Wayne. My platform is not education and stuff like that. We do a great education program. My platform is keeping ALOA operating so we don't go the way of DHI or some of the other associations. Associations are closing every year. We got to keep ALOA stable so generations in the future have an ALOA. So that's, if you read my platform, that's, you know, I'm not going to make huge promises.
All right.
But
Thank you. That's our 30 seconds there. Thank you. All right. Our next comment here is with the various divisions in the association, such as institutional locksmiths, automotive locksmiths, safe technicians, and forensic locksmiths. There's some concern that once a united group is now fragmented and causing the association to lose focus. What is your opinion on this? I'll direct this to Mr. Trumpy.
Oh, okay. Well, as a division president, I'll be happy to deal with this one. I don't think that the divisions divide us. They focus an area. It's like you have a general practitioner, and then you have your specialties. And I think the divisions really bring an asset. Now, one problem that ALOA has always had a problem with is we are slow to react to new areas, such as electronics. We do not focus on electronics. And then you have an electronic security association. SAFTA was started because ALOA did not do safes well. And then years later, we take it under. Investigative, the same way. My division, which led to, we were not necessarily welcome in ALOA, so we became IOA. And then ALOA starts a division. Just Cars, only their closing down is what led to us starting that is something, and to go off, let me ask Mr. Rip, originally, that is one of the biggest problems that we are slow to do is adapt to the industry. Look at the future. Look at where we are. Look at what is current needs of our membership. But I think that sometimes that is handled best within a association and within a division. So I don't look at divisions as a dividing factor, even though we call them divisions. They are the specialists. You go to a cardiologist, not to your general practitioner when you want in depth. So that's what I personally feel. And as the president of the institutional division, which is growing and growing and growing at the lowest budget of any of the divisions, I think that's a great asset. And then the other divisions, other groups can pull from that. So we bring a lot to ALOA as a whole or to the other divisions. Investigative works with institutional division. They work with the ALOA whole.
And we're at our 2-minute mark. Thank you.
Chris, you've been in enough board meetings with me. This is hard to keep short.
I know. That's why I have a stopwatch.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Rip, comments on that?
Yeah, I think the divisions are good. However, they all should have their elections like the ALOA board, where all the members get to vote, rather than before we had the governance that we had, all the elections were at the convention, but with the governance that changed. And I think all the divisions should be elected just like the ALOA board, so that all the members can vote on that.
Very good. Thank you. Wayne Winton, comment on this.
Yes, sir. As long as they can support themselves and growth is being shown, then I believe that they can be an asset. When we are seeing a decline across the board, and each of those divisions, along with the entire division, is shrinking, which ALOA membership is shrinking at about 13% currently, then we may need to go back and relook and refocus the assets that we have so that we can benefit the members to the maximum benefit.
Thank you. Right. Gentlemen, next point is that some see the position of being on the ALOA board as prestigious and a feather in one's cap. So let me direct this to Mr. Rip. What was your reason for wanting to be on the board? Tom Rip.
Well, I had been very involved in the 2 chapters that we have, ALOA chapters in Wisconsin, and so I thought, well, the way you learn more about something as you get involved in it. So I been on there 3 different times, and they're not all continuous, so there was time in between. So each time it was under different president, different leadership, and like the last time when I was on the low board, we were 300,000 in the positive, and when I come on this time, we were 300,000 negative. So that's a $600,000 swing in about 10 years. So there's probably a variety of reasons why that $600,000 decline or swing went in those 10 years. But um, this last time I was asked to be on, and so here I am.
Thank you. Wayne, comments on this?
Sure. Anyone that thinks that this is an easy job is sorely mistaken. There really isn't a feather in the cap, if you will. It is weekend. I mean, we spend a full weekend in boardroom meetings trying to figure out budgets and where the association is going and going over numbers. And trust me, I would much rather be working on my yard or spending time with my family, but I am volunteering my time. There is no pay for this, and I am volunteering my time to be of service to the membership, to this industry who has been so kind to me. This is my way of giving back.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. John Trumpy.
Same thing. My bio speaks for itself. I don't need more accreditations. I've got most of the awards. I just found out I'm about to be honored by Locksmith Ledger. It's not about that. Serving on the board is giving back to the people who helped me years ago. I'm a prodigy of Bill Reed. Some people may not even know who he was now. He led, and that's why I do it. Serving any position on a lower board and $1 might get you a cup of coffee. So there is no prestige.
All right. Thank you. Same question to you. This question is directed to you, Mr. Trumpy. What do you see as one of your contributions on the board? And I'm going to give each of you time to answer this thoroughly. So Mr. John Trumpy is going to go first on this one.
Okay. I have been in most of the seats at ALOA. I'm the convention chair, technology chair. I have so many hats. I have been involved in association management for most of my career. My day job is very similar to it. It's a management position. I understand the spreadsheets. I understand the financial. I understand budgets. I understand policies and rules and regulations and all of that stuff. So it's kind of a natural fit for me. I'll tell you, the last 3.5 years as chairman of the board has been a lot of work. Bill Mendenbaum sitting there quietly in the corner, but without his help, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It's Wayne talks about a weekend. It's 6 hours a day sometimes doing the work for ALOA. But it's giving back. It is once again giving back to an industry that has put my kids through college, has given me a great retirement, has done all that. And I just think that I have the experience. The board of directors has reelected me 3 times to remain as chairman. So that's what I bring.
Good. Thank you. Mr. Tom Ripp, same question.
Well,
You see as one of your contributions to the association being on the board.
I have a lot of experience in a variety of areas. Being on the board 3 different times is experience. I've Locally, I've been president of Wanapest, the local organization. I've been vice president of Conservation Club organization in the county that I live in. I've been on part of the JC organization years ago. Also, with my locksmith background, I've done service work. I've been an in-house locksmith. I've managed a business. I've got such a wide variety of experience that it's all beneficial.
Thank you. Wayne Wetton, same question. What do you see as your contributions from being on the board?
Absolutely. When I see discussions in the different forums, one of the biggest and most recurring comments is this association needs new blood. This needs some new life breathed into it with some new ideas to not only just catch up with the times, but also stay current and actually go where the industry is going. And that is exactly what I bring. I am spending so much time understanding what our members need and trying to provide that for them. That is my main mission. And instead, the time and tested technique is let's come up with ideas and try them and see what sticks. I have a different radical position on that, and that is why don't we ask the members what they want? Understand what they want and understand what they need first, and then give that to them. Instead of ready, fire, aim, let's ready, aim, fire moving forward. I bring some technology, some tools, education, and a way to bring those tools to the membership in a consumable, easy to consume format.
Thank you. All right. Next one we have here is the current yearly membership being over $200 for ALOA, around $240. There have been some concerns about the yearly membership fees for ALOA. Question I have, let's direct this to Mr. Tom Ripp. What do you think the membership fee is an obstacle to new members, and what are your thoughts concerning membership fees?
Well, we need to have benefits for our members that they see the value of the $240 fee. Like I said, I feel that I'm very involved with both of our lower chapters in Wisconsin. Both members in both of those chapters were interested in a class on e-bike and moped, and ALOA didn't have anything. And in fact, those organizations were told that if we find something that ALOA might be interested in knowing what's out there, but we haven't found anything anywhere else either. But ALOA, I would think would try to come up with something or contact the instructor base they have to see if someone's interested in taking something like that on. But our members just need to be able to get more than what they've been getting. I've talked to some of our members, and they just don't feel they get enough for what the membership costs.
Thank you. Wayne, comments, rebuttal, same comment.
Absolutely.
Question.
People are speaking with their dollars. We have had about 3 or 4 years of membership decline at, like I said, around 13%. If you just do some really average numbers, And that says that we are not providing enough value for what we are charging. The members speak with their dollars and they're speaking loudly. Therefore, we have to adjust to that. I am part of the membership committee, and we are coming up with, we've already presented the board with a solution to this problem to get new membership at a much more affordable rate. I don't know exactly how much I can say, but I can tell you that we are addressing that with action and have a action plan put together.
And time. Thank you. All right. Mr. Trumpy, same question about the membership. Great.
So yes, it's foolish to say that an expensive bill is not hindering membership. But at the same time, you got to remember ALOA runs at a 20% administration fees. So you're getting a bigger benefit. The magazine is not a profit maker. It cost us money, but it's an award-winning magazine. It's lasting. There are benefits out there. Yes, we need to do more. We need to do tons more. But the value needs to be there. And
Thank you.
membership is
Thank
the
you.
largest
Time.
income.
We're at time. Thank you. All right. And next comment here. I've got various hobbyist lock organizations, Locksport, Tool, others, have a following and say many are ripe for potential members. Question going to Wayne Winton is, how do you view these hobbyists with regard to the association?
Well, I know that there are a lot of hobbyists who have transformed and become professional locksmiths themselves. I see the Locksport community as a very large community online. I can also say that I don't agree with everything that they're doing either. Anyone who wants to learn this trade and wants to learn the skills that are associated with this trade, that wants to go through the proper channels and proper avenues to obtain their locksmith license if they are in a licensed state, to obtain a official business license, to perform this and change it from a hobby to a business, is absolutely welcome in the association in my eyes. You have to show the level of professionalism, and you would also need to show a level of ethics in order to be able to apply that skill and take it. What I would like to see is I would like people to take it from a hobby, and I would like to see them turn it into an actual profession. And I believe ALOA can help people do that as long as it's done through the proper channels, with the proper licensing in those licensed states, and through having the proper insurance and having the proper business licenses and paying taxes and doing all of the official things that are required along with that.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Rip, comments on this? Rebuttal, concerns?
Not at this time.
Okay. Mr. Trumpy?
I actually agree with Wayne. Yes. I do not want to bring the hobbyist in to ALOA who are only in a niche area. You're always going to have the smaller shop, the beginner, stuff like that. Of course, we're going to bring them in. But, you know, once they do, we have a lot of members who started out in that community and are now very large contributing people to our community. They start out as a hobbyist, become a security consultant, move up. So yes, those people are always going to be welcome. Opening it up to the community as a whole, no, I would not be in support of.
Okay, thank you. Another group that we talk about from internet, television, the term scammers has been used over the last decade. Loosely put, it's a title used to describe those pulling business away from legitimate locksmiths. So, two-part question here is, how do you define a scammer, and what steps should the association take to address any perceived issues? This is going to Mr. Trumpy.
So we have been fighting scammers. They move quick. We have a almost 100% record of identifying and removing any scammer from our membership rolls. So for ALOA and the scammer, we do not have them. We remove them. Now, they're also not applying. It's hard for us to go into the community and stop them. Doesn't mean we don't try. Like I said, our current negotiations with Google are to identify only legitimate locksmiths and use ALOA's membership as a vetting process. When you become an ALOA member, you get all that. We do the background checks. To fight them in the field, it's a monumental task. We do the lobbying, we do spend money on it. It is just, as always, a fight. I wish I knew the answers. I don't know the answers, but I'll promise you, we won't stop trying to get the answers because they make all of us look bad. So we're asking currently, we did a press release. We're currently looking for anybody in certain areas who is willing to appear on video for news reports that have been affected by. We put those notices out to board members. All the other board members know that we're looking for those people. Consumers who have been affected, because we have reporters willing to run stories on it. We're not doing on the ALOA website, we have a whole consumer thing. So we are fighting it. It's just we can't go in the streets and stop it. We can stop them from being members. It is very frustrating. Any idea is a good idea to try to stop them, but because they make us all look bad.
And we're at our mark. Thank you. Mr. Rip, further comments on this rebuttal?
In my area, there was a locksmith business that was a scammer that ended up in court, and they were from another country, and they ended up going back to their country and sending someone else here to run the business. So yeah, John is right. They do move rather quickly, and
Thank you.
thanks.
Wayne Winton, same rebuttal, concerns, comments.
Yes, sir. This is a huge problem in the industry, and one that I have seen many members really crying out for help and wanting some answers. And while I agree with some of John Trumpy's answers, I think there's more that can be done. Rather than trying to fight the battle ourselves, my plan is to arm the members with tools that they can then use to fight the scammers in their own area. Let's look at what the scammers can and can't do. They're not going to be professional, and they don't want to continue to have business.
I'm going to have to stop you. That's in your 30 seconds there. Thank you. And this also brings, believe it or not, it brings us to the close of our time for questions. Each of you now have 3 minutes to summarize your case, present your case individually. And as we said at the beginning of this, we're taking turns. Mr. Tom Ripp is going to be going first. So, Mr. Ripp, you've got 3 minutes for your platform. You're welcome to start.
Thank you. I've got a wealth of experience in the whole locksmith industry. I've been very active in 2 ALOA chapters. Bill Smith was a volunteer at a number of our conventions, and he's known me since 1992 when the chapter started, and he had noted that I've been a leader in the Fox Valley chapter and devoted to the locksmith industry and extremely helpful to fellow locksmiths. Their facilities director at the university when I worked there for 23 years. said Tom is second to none when it comes to his efforts in improving quality consumer service and his knowledge of the locksmith industry. Tom literally devotes his life to the locksmith profession. I believe he is very rare to find a person as dedicated to his profession as Tom is. Yeah, I have the ALOA logo on my work shirt. So I advertise ALOA constantly. I have about a half a dozen different ones that I mentor currently. And, I tell them it's about the customer service that the consumer's looking for these days. And it's one of the best part-time jobs you can have. I guess if someone's interested in full-time, I'd probably point them more towards institutional locksmithing, because I've done that for 23 years as well. But yeah, I enjoy the locksmith industry and I've been really involved in it, and I think it's one of the best occupations you could be in.
Very good. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Wayne Winton.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I'm going to actually take some of my time and my 3 minutes to acknowledge. Thank you, Christopher, for being the moderator. Thank you, Tom Ripp, for joining us as well. I appreciate your opinions and value you being here. Thank you, John Trumpy, for being here as well. I appreciate the input that you've had and your dedication to the board. I appreciate Nick for putting this coming up with this and being the brainchild of it, along with Bill Mandelbaum for letting us use his Zoom for this, and Dawn being here to help facilitate things as well. So thank you to everyone who is involved, because it takes a team. No one person can do everything. As far as what I plan on doing for this association if elected president, once again, the number one thing that I hear across all of the forums where almost the majority of the locksmiths are and are voicing their opinions is they want some change. They want new ideas. They want this association brought into the current century. They want more tools at their disposal. And to continue what I was saying with the scammer problem, the answer is never going to be to throw money at it. The answer is to arm the members with tools to fight their own battles and to give them resources how to manage their Google My Business listing. That is the number one sore spot in this industry here to date, is legitimate locksmiths. Google My Business listings are getting taken down and scammers are allowed to thrive, and it's like whack-a-mole. It's Hydra whack-a-mole. When you take one down, 5 more pop up. I have plans to be able to help people in that scenario. I have actionable items to be able to give these tools that I have found success with and give them to the membership, and that will add the value, which will in turn create more membership. That is the plan that I have for my presidency, and I respectfully ask for your vote this year in the ALOA presidential election. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wayne. Mr. John Trumpy. Last but
All
not
right.
least.
So let me first start out and say I never wanted this position. I only stepped up and I did it back in August. Got my form filled out because I was asked to by fellow board members to do it. As I said, this is not about me. It'll never be about me. ALOA needs to improve. 100%. But at the same time, we also have not been sitting there for 50 years not doing. I am not going to promise anyone to get a vote to say, hey, let's do this. To use Wayne's example, when we were doing the Google thing with the listings, we were originally trying to do it in conjunction with a manufacturer who shall remain nameless. And they went out, it's one of the ones that works with the larger shops, and to see if they could come in because they have some financial backing, that they could help us with that. And what they came back with is a lot of our larger shops don't care about their Google listings because they don't want to do the emergency calls anymore. So for me, ALOA is every little component. Maybe it's because I'm a division president that I want to make sure the institutionals, I want to make sure the one-man shop gets what they need. I want to make sure that the mega shops get what they need. If it's the automotive people, even though I don't understand them, the same as we've backed that division 100%, even though the first event was bad, that's what I think ALOA is. ALOA helps each member, no matter which segment they are in, because we're all brothers, we're all sisters in this great big community. A community that has done so much for me, has done so much for Wayne, has done so much for Rip. Christopher, I know, has done a lot for you. Nicholas, it was great meeting you. You see what it's like herding cats, setting this up. That's what I think ALOA is. ALOA is a family. And if I can represent that, that's what I'll do. I'm not leaving the board regardless. I'm still a division president. Actually, if I win as ALOA president, I have to resign from both ASF and, which by the way, ASF is the most rewarding because it's a zero. It's no compensation board. It's just another way of giving back for me. So that's what I want to do. I want to make ALOA. I want to make sure ALOA stays. I want to make sure ALOA is healthy. Otherwise, we can't provide any services for anybody. So
And thank you. I need to stop you there because your 3 minutes is up. Thank you, Mr. Trumpy.
I ran 4 seconds over.
I bet you did. All right. So as we come to the end of our hour, I'll let Nick close, but I just want to take the time to thank each and every one of you that's on this call. Mr. Tom Ripp, Mr. John Trumpy, Mr. Wayne Winton, thank you for participating in this, taking of your time, and which each of you well. And thank you to all the people behind the scenes as well. Nick, Dawn, and Bill helped on that. I'm going to sign off and hand over to Nick to wrap up for our session on the hour. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher. I would like to thank everybody who's been here, Tom, Wayne, and John. Thank you for taking time out of your days to speak with all of us. I want to thank ALOA, Bill, and Dawn for extending me your infrastructure. I did not have the infrastructure to put this all together, especially not in 1 week that we had to get this facilitated. So I'd like to thank you guys for helping us to facilitate this. I'd like to thank you, Christopher, for taking time from your wife to work with me on getting good questions for the candidates. We did have to filter out some questions. They're very important questions, and I would like to review them later before this election is over. But I'd like to sign off with saying, members, your vote does matter. If you don't vote, I mean, your vote, I hate to say it this way, if you don't vote, you're voting for the other guy. So vote for where you think the association needs to go, and vote your conscience. And that's where I will end it. Thank you. Bill.
Okay, the time is 8:01 and we're now stopping recording.
Thank you, Bill.